Hey guys, Veggie Gamer back and we're back to playing Yandere Simulator VEGGIEKNIGHTS. We're finally going to be listening to the tapes. I'm sorry that there was a bit of a delay on this VEGGIEKNIGHTS when I recorded that last video. Also, thank you so much for the support of that last video, VEGGIEKNIGHTS. Very, very kind of you. Mwah! Sorry, right time. Anyway, VEGGIEKNIGHTS, yes, we're going to be listening to the tapes today. Very exciting. Apparently they're very interesting, guys. I imagine most of you have listened to it, but if you haven't, you're going to be experiencing them first time here with me. Before we get started, VEGGIEKNIGHTS, aim tries to get this video to exactly 103 likes. Muffins? Let's go on with the video. It's a fun little fact, very nice. Oh yeah, why is this grass longer than the rest? I don't get it. It's the same on this side as well. There must be a reason for it. I can't figure what it is. There's Shiromi! Why are you going that way, Shiromi? Oh, of course. Yes, very nice. Fun fact. I couldn't remember where you got the audio tapes. I thought you had to find them around the school or something, which I'm sure will be the case eventually. But I couldn't remember where you found the Headmaster's discarded tapes. And so I put on Twitter, like, asking people where the heck it was. Razboski, of all people, replied to me saying, well, they're in his bin. I said, yes, of course. Of course they're in his bin. Oh, hang on. Oh, he is here. Balls. He goes away at lunchtime, doesn't he? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, there's a lot of them. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to grab them all here. Is that bottle of sake new? I feel like it may be. Doesn't matter, you know, we got the audio tapes now. Have we got all of them? I believe so. So now we go over to the audio visual room. No, that's from Danganronpa, isn't it? What's the room which we need to go to? Announcement room. That's not it. Computer lab. Oh, yeah, it's computer lab. Yeah, audio visual room's on Danganronpa 1, right? I believe. Close the door because I don't want to be interrupted by Cookie Kun and oh, Freddy. Well, let's listen to this tapes for nights. I don't fully remember what was in the old tapes. Wasn't there something about sandwiches? I can't remember. Okay, so presumably these are in the right position. Basement mystery head. Oh, here we go. Right, okay. So 3, 4, 5, and then 7, 8, 9 are apparently new. So, oh my goodness. Here we go, guys. Let's listen and enjoy.
Wow.
Technology?
Did everything really collapsed this easily? Cameras, interviews, police. I don't want this to be my life. The past few years were perfect. Why did this have to happen? It's not like it was my fault. Or was it? I guess I understand why they're putting all the blame on me. It's my school. I'm responsible for it and everyone inside of it. But how was I supposed to... How could I have seen this coming? What could I have possibly done to have prevented this? A murderer. A killer. In my school.
Now, presuming he's talking about Ayano's mother? I feel like I lose the thread quite often in these sort of storylines, guys. So I apologize if I'm incorrect, but I believe that's what he's talking about.
Those girls who disappeared. I don't want to admit it, but it fits. Those missing girls are probably dead. Dead. Was there anything I could have done? Could I have stopped this? Could I have saved them? If I was more vigilant, more strict with background checks. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Have metal detectors and security cameras in every hallway? Do a mental health check on every student every hour?
Oh, that's a feature that hasn't been put in yet, but the detectors and the security cameras have been, so maybe we'll be getting a mental health check every hour.
How do you prepare for this? You can't. If someone is just crazy, just insane, then you're screwed. It's not your fault or anything. It happens because they're just this crazy, screwed up person. It's not your fault if this happens. It's not your fault. It's not my fault.
Ah, clearly he doesn't believe that, the way that he's saying that. Wow, that was dark, but let's move on to number 4.
What a goddamn disgrace!
Oh, this sounds good. Huh? Oh, balls. Well, that was it. Okay.
What a goddamn disgrace!
Okay, the pause button broke.
Innocent? Innocent! Innocent my ass!
Hey?
She's the culprit. She did it. That girl, that monster. I've never seen someone so goddamn manipulative. She fooled them all. Every single one of them was dancing in the palm of her hand by the end. What a farce! People are dead. Young people who had promising futures, whose lives I was responsible for. She did it. She did it. She's the only one who could have. That blood is on her hands. And now she walks free. That conniving little... And I'm expected to let her back in the school. Stand on a stage and hand her a diploma?
Oh, dear.
Mr. Psycho told me to let it go, but I can't. I can't let this go. She murdered people and got away with it. I can't believe... God damn, this is just... This was supposed to bring closure. This was supposed to close the chapter. This was... God damn her. God damn her.
Little background thing, Midnights. There's a new thing on YouTube where you had to declare what's in your video. It actually, you know, when it first popped up, I wasn't so sure about it, but now I think it's quite cool. And the very first one is, does your video, well, it's about profanity. And the first option that you have is contains words like damn. I think I'm going to be clicking that one on this video, Midnights. Wow, I mean, I'm kind of amazed that he's stuck with the job. I mean, is it that they have info on him now or something? Maybe something to do with info chat. Let's listen on, guys. I mean, yeah, he's still staying in the job. And obviously, to this day, he has.
I didn't realize how pathetic this was until I hit the record button. There are distressing things I want to talk about. But the only people around me are my colleagues at work. I can't show weakness in front of my subordinates, so if I want to talk and have someone listen, then I have to use this. A tape recorder. God. The problem is, enrollment is dropping. The past few years weren't too bad, but now, for the first time since the school opened, enrollment is actually lower than the previous year. This was the only good thing I had going for me, and now I'm watching it die. I can pinpoint the exact moment when the decline began. That trial. That damn trial. As soon as the media started calling this place the murder school, our fate was sealed.
So the public didn't believe the outcome of the jury.
The suspect was found innocent. So the public believes that the culprit is still at large.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants to attend a school where a serial killer might be running loose. But that was 6 years ago. 6 years. We haven't had any incidents since then. It's safe here. What am I supposed to do? Hang a sign on the front door of the school that says, "We've gone 6 years without a murderer. You can all come back now."
Could work.
We had momentum. We had an upwards trajectory. We were rising, soaring. We were on the road to being as internationally renowned as Harvard or Yale. But that trial, it killed the momentum. And once you lose momentum, it's almost impossible to get it back. Sometimes I wish that journalist had never said anything.
Ooh.
If he'd kept his mouth shut, just let her get away with everything. There never would have been a media circus. Just some mysterious disappearances that would have been forgotten in a few months, but no, he had to drag us all into a big scandal.
This is the first time that we've heard about the journalist, right? Because I remember seeing the concept art for him. Or was it detective? I think... Yeah, I just looked on the website and it is the journalist. So that's interesting. I think this is literally... I mean, that image got posted probably over a year ago now. And so we're actually hearing about the journalist now. I believe this is the first time, guys. Like I say, I'm probably getting this all wrong.
If only some random person would just be found guilty for all those murders, then maybe this notion of a serial killer running loose around Academy would finally go away. Ugh, God damn it. What am I saying? I don't really mean any of that. It's this whole situation is just, it has me, ugh. I'm wrong, though. It's not the journalist's fault. It's not the court's fault. It's not even my fault.
It's Veggie's fault.
This is her fault.
Oh, charm.
It's all her fault.
Starting to sound a little bit nuts now. Okay, so apparently we've heard 6, and so we will move on straight over to 7, 8, and 9. So here we go.
15 years. That's how much time has passed. 15 years.
Wow, that is a big jump.
15 years watching it all spiral downward. Never managed to pull out of that nosedive. 15 years without closure. Without justice. What would my life been like if I'd never taken this job? Probably have a wife by now. Children. But there's no room for anything like that. Not with Academy taking up so much of my time. Even if I did have a family, I wouldn't be a part of their lives. I'd be too busy with Academy. I'd make a terrible husband. A terrible father.
Oh god, this guy.
I sacrificed the best years of my life for this school. And what did I get in return? Wrinkles and hair loss from all the stress. A big, fat gut. I don't even recognize the man in the mirror anymore. Sure, I've made money. But what use is money when I never have time to spend it? I don't even know what I'd use it for. I never have enough spare time to develop a hobby. Well, I suppose I do have one hobby.
God, don't want to know about that, dude. Let's just do the maths real quick. So, 15 years since the murders, presumably. So, if he's like fresh out of I'm just thinking that maybe he should just retire. Obviously he doesn't because he's still here. But I feel like he probably has enough money to retire or leave the job. Is he being kept here because of something that they have on him or something? He does not sound happy, guys. Oh no, I've broken the bloody pause button again. Oh god, no, I'm gonna... Oh, okay, fine. Okay, bear with me, guys. Okay, here we go.
Well, I suppose I do have one hobby.
Sounds sinister.
I asked myself, what good is being the headmaster of a school? What opportunities do I have that nobody else has? Only one thing came to mind. Something taboo. But once the idea's in my head, it was...
I mean, you are recording this, dude. It may be a bad idea.
About it. Eventually, I just couldn't find a reason to resist the temptation. It's not like I have anything left to lose. It's not like my life could get any worse than it already is.
I do not like how this is going.
I gave it a try. And you know what? I don't even feel guilty about it. You see, filming someone does absolutely no harm to them. No harm whatsoever.
Are we stalking someone?
It's not as though I post the videos online or anything like that. It has zero impact on their lives, so what's wrong with putting a few cameras around? At this point, I don't even care if I get caught. Actually, the risk of getting caught makes it a little more thrilling. And even if I did get in trouble, at least it would shake things up a bit.
Oh, I guess that's why he's recorded it.
My life would finally change in some way. And for that reason alone, I would be happy. It's a win-win. I just wish I'd thought of this sooner.
Interesting. Presumably he's putting cameras around the school. It sounds potentially in a very creepy way. Like, what's his name? Chuck Berry. Don't look up that story, guys. Sorry, ignore me. By the way, guys, I'm going to say this real quick. So every now and then I get comments saying, hey, how come you're playing this on Xbox? I thought it was only on PC. If you connect an Xbox controller to your PC, guys, it picks up what the buttons are. And so I am playing it on PC. I'm just playing with an Xbox controller. I got asked that yesterday, and I thought I'd just let you know in case you've ever wondered that as well. But yeah, this is getting sordid now, guys.
Whenever I sit in front of Mr. Psycho and give him an update about Academy, I expect him to be furious with me. The school's reputation and enrollment have both been declining for almost 3 decades.
What?
Despite my efforts to turn them around. Mr. Psycho has every right to chew my head off, but he doesn't. As a matter of fact, he seems quite indifferent towards Academy as a whole. Our weekly meetings feel like a formality, and nothing more. Something we do merely because it became routine. I get the impression that he couldn't possibly care any less about Academy, and keeps it operational purely because closing the school would reflect poorly on Psycho Corp. Or perhaps because the school had become something of a monument to his missing daughter.
Ooh.
Perhaps he's more sentimental than he looks. If Academy's enrollment numbers continue to drop at their current rate, less than 100 students will be attending the school next year.
That's pretty bad.
At this point, it's clear that nothing I've tried over the past 30 years is going to save the school's reputation. So, with practically nothing left to lose, I proposed something radical to Mr. Psycho.
Mr. Psycho?
A complete rebranding. My research has shown me that Academy's declining popularity is directly connected to the school's reputation for notoriously difficult entrance exams and needlessly strict rules. The last thing I'd want is to allow the school to fill up with imbeciles and degenerates.
Sure.
But it has become obvious that the school's reputation will never recover unless sweeping reforms are made. I presented Mr. Psycho with a list of everything that would make the school a more welcoming environment, allowing students to style their hair, wear makeup and accessories, customize their uniforms, bring smartphones to school, enter romantic relationships, access the rooftop, and so forth.
That's in all Japanese schools, isn't it?
I even proposed making the entrance exams a little less difficult and
75%.
lowering the tuition fees. I truly didn't know how Mr. Psycho would react. On one hand, he seemed apathetic about Academy. On the other hand, I was proposing a complete reversal of everything that Academy stood for. After I concluded my presentation, he sat in silence for a while. I wasn't sure if he was giving my proposal deep consideration, or simply pondering whether or not he cared at all. Eventually, he shrugged his shoulders and simply said, "Give it a try."
It wouldn't make a
I'm not
difference.
sure whether or not the rebranding is going to be a success, but for the first time in years, I feel excited. Like I actually have something to look forward to. The tedium of the last few decades had become unbearable. And these big, drastic changes are exactly what I needed to break up the monotony. I'm eager to see what kind of crowd these reforms will bring in. Here's to a new chapter in the story of Academy.
I do kind of like the fact that this guy's been doing it for 3 decades and he's still using cassette tapes. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. That wouldn't make a difference, guys. Oh, hello. Class time, apparently. Yeah, I mean, after 30 years of constant decline because of an event... What do they say on Danganronpa? The worst event... Oh, I can't remember what it is. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, allowing students, like, you know, freedoms from that they wouldn't have in other schools. I don't know, guys. Oh, well, this is the last of the new tapes, guys, so let's listen.
Well, that was the weirdest day of my life. In the past 30 years, I've had over 1,000 meetings with Mr. Psycho. When I walked into his office today for our weekly meeting, I could immediately tell that something was very wrong.
Okay, this is really annoying, because that's just challenged me to work out if there would have been 1,000 meetings if you're going every week. So that's 52 per year. So that wouldn't be 1,000. But then again, it's not specifically saying just those weekly meetings, so ignore me.
Everything about him, posture, expression, demeanor, was completely different. He was slouching low in his chair, staring blankly at a wall. Didn't even bother to greet me as I walked in.
Sorry, guys, I just worked out that it definitely would be over 1,000. Okay, ignore me, please. Shut up, Veggie, for God's sake. This tape's 6 minutes long! Oh my goodness!
More importantly, his son, who had been present for every one of our meetings over the past 3 decades, was not there.
I was going to say Kuncho, but it's not Kuncho, is it?
I asked, will your son be joining us today, to which he simply replied, there is no reason for that anymore. As I took my seat, I asked him if anything was wrong. He didn't reply. The heavy atmosphere of the room made me feel uncomfortable with the idea of attempting to advance the conversation, so I chose to remain silent until he was ready to talk. As it turned out, I would be waiting for quite some time. The silence lasted for about 15 incredibly tense and uncomfortable minutes. When Mr. Psycho finally did speak, he suddenly started rambling about Okinawa. He spoke of his experience as a soldier during World War II. How he volunteered to fight at the age of 17. How a bomb hit his dormitory. How he spent hours buried underneath rubble, staring at the corpses of his dead friends. He said he still sees them on the back of his eyelids every time he closes his eyes. He told me that buried underneath that rubble over 70 years ago, he swore an oath to punish the world for killing his friends. He swore to revive Japanese nationalism and expand the Japanese empire until it covered the entire globe. That's why he started his company. That's why he spent his life building the greatest conglomerate the world has ever known.
Interesting.
That's why he toiled for over half a century until he had become the richest man on Earth.
What?
It was all for the sake of building up enough power and influence to instigate a war. A war that he would throw all of his money and resources into until he had achieved the complete annihilation of every country that fought against Japan in World War II. But something happened that he didn't expect. Globalization spread Japanese culture across the face of the planet. Japan's former enemies now enjoy friendly relations with Japan. They eat Japanese food, watch Japanese animations, play Japanese video games. The problem process was sped up by his own inventions and innovations. There's a psycho product in every home. He can't find the motivation to go to war anymore, knowing that he'd be blowing up his own loyal customers. He dedicated his entire life to setting the stage for a blood-soaked military victory. But in the process, he inadvertently achieved a slow, pacifistic cultural victory.
We're playing The Sims.
By now...
Not The Sims, Civ 6, sir. Civilization, there we go. Sorry, guys, ignore me. That's, yeah.
Most everyone who pulled a trigger or launched a bomb during World War II was dead or elderly. So revenge had lost all meaning. Instead of feeling pride for accomplishing more than any other man in history, he just felt like he had failed his dead friends.
He's telling him this, right?
After his long, rambling speech came to an end, he returned to staring blankly at the wall. I'm not sure why he confided all that information in me. I don't think it's because he considered me a friend. It's more likely that he thought of me, well, the same way I think of this tape recorder. Just a stupid object where you can store your thoughts without consequence. After some more silence, he eventually spoke up again. He said, "My health is failing. I will likely die soon. I will make no attempt to prolong my life. I am retiring as CEO starting tomorrow. My son will be taking over for me. You will be meeting with him from now on." He said nothing else, but I could tell that the meeting was over. That was most likely the last time I'll ever speak with him, or see him in person. The next time I address someone as Mr. Psycho, I'll be talking to his son. The world's most famous man. Secretly a nationalist with plans for world domination. Harboring a half-century-long grudge. Huh. I would tell the media, but it wouldn't matter one bit. Psycho Corp controls everything that the media says or does. Even if I told the world what he confided in me, the media would never run the story, and it would quickly be dismissed as a baseless rumor or crackpot conspiracy theory. I guess, in that sense, he really did take over the world.
Yeah, pacifist victory, Ben, right? That's how I usually do, in a cultural victory, I should say. That's how I usually play Civilization 6. Okay, well, that was long, guys. I apologise. Oh, no, I don't apologise. I'm sorry that it took me so long to get to them. I think that's why this video may not be as popular as the previous one, because I had to leave a couple of days to do this for nights. I'm glad I separated it from all the other features, though, because this is going to be a long video. This is going to be longer than the other video, like, by a long shot. Late for school again. Arrival Chan. I wonder how relevant all that about the Second World War and revenge and everything is actually going to be when it comes to Yandere Simulator. It could just be, you know, not even exposition, but just like padding, you know. If you've got any theories, guys, of if you think that his plan is still moving in fruition, and maybe Ianu may have something to do with that, let me know in the comments, guys. I'd love to hear your theories on it. But I kind of get the impression that maybe it's not. I don't want to use padding because it's not the word. No. What's the term? Come on, Veggie. You know the term. So world building. You know, just like to add, giving it more, like the world more of a twist, to give it this kind of almost non sequitur storyline. I guess it's not non sequitur because he started the organisation for that reason, and the school was part of that organisation. But yeah, it sounds like Academy High is going really badly, which kind of surprised me, because I thought it was meant to be quite a prestigious place. I guess it could still be prestigious, but no one wants to go there. But I don't know, guys. Yeah, That's thrown me for a loop. I have a feeling that it won't be that significant to the story of Yandere Simulator, but I've always had this theory that Ayano is more than just a girl that has a crush. I do believe that she is being potentially trained up to be some sort of weapon. I guess in a similar way, spoiler alerts, I won't go into detail, that Kumaro is in Ultra Despair Girls. I've always had that theory, guys, that I just feel like that there's something going on where the school knows that she's doing it but are actually for it. But that wouldn't make any sense though, because why would you be thrown out though if you're caught doing something? I don't know, guys. We need to discuss this in the comments. All these carrots coming up. Yeah, let me know your theories in the comments, guys. Very, very interesting. So yeah, we now have presumably the entire set of the Headmaster's audio tapes, right? So maybe we'll be getting some other types soon. I don't know what else to say, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks you all so much for watching. We'll be back with more poses and so on and so forth. And Yandere Simulator fan game videos coming up soon, guys. So look out for those. Please like and subscribe. All that good stuff. I'm VeggieGamer. And I'll see you next time. Boop. Balls on toast.